traced.
As you heard, the Confederation's anthem, with its 3 verses, pays tribute to the past of the Sahel's people and celebrates the integrity of its sons and daughters. It was sung this morning at the Presidential Palace during a flag-raising ceremony. On this occasion, the President of Faso delivered a message in which he denounced the covert maneuvers of the imperialists. We listen to him.
So, we are now in the last month of the semester, the first semester of the year 2025. I would therefore like us to use this month to start thinking about the outlook for the second semester and to see what has worked in our administrations and what has not. And as you can see, this morning we have just proudly raised the flag accompanied by the Confederation Anthem. This is yet another important step that we are taking forward in our union. It is not without difficulty, because unity is hard, especially in Africa. It is difficult to come together, but it is a solution. We must unite. Little by little, the AES is making steady progress. Despite all the difficulties, all the challenges ahead of us, if I were naive, I would ask myself, but why don't the imperialists want this union? But I'm not naive. He knows why. And that is the same question that those who still tend to sleep should be asking themselves. Why don't they want us to unite? Why does the Confederation scare or bother some people so much? Because every day we are approached by this imperialist trying to get one of the 3 of us to betray the others. We have been facing this for a very long time. Every time it's these kinds of schemes that are used to get you to leave the Confederation. This should make us think. And when we look at our relationships, there is actually no friendship. In this world, there are only interests. People only come to us for their own interests. We need to be fully aware of that. They will fight us. They will keep fighting us. But we will emerge victorious and strong. The situations we are experiencing, we must not take them and feel sorry for ourselves. On the contrary, it should make us stronger. We must come out of this war much stronger, understand why we have been so heavily attacked, toughen ourselves, and ensure that in the centuries to come, we never experience this kind of situation again. That's what we need to keep in mind. So, I encourage everyone to redouble their efforts, because Burkinabes are known as very courageous, hardworking, and resilient people. And these values, we must work to improve them. Wherever you go in Africa or even in the world, you will find Burkinabes. And it is these values that define and identify Burkinabes. So, we must do everything possible to be men of integrity, as the name of our country suggests, to be courageous, resilient, selfless people, and to redouble our efforts in everything we do for the happiness of Burkina, but also for the happiness of our confederation. That is very important. And once we have reached a certain level, you will understand even better why we are being fought against. Because our country is rich in its human value, rich in its moral values, but above all, rich in its subsoil. And it is these riches that are coveted. But these riches must benefit the people of Burkina Faso. Nothing has really begun yet in terms of exploiting natural resources and distributing the benefits to the masses. We can change the face of our country. We can move out of this situation of underdevelopment and very quickly become an emerging nation. All it takes is work. Everyone needs to get involved. Just as the fighters are making sacrifices on the front lines, we must also be able to make sacrifices within the administration. We need to make sure that we work beyond what we are used to push our abilities even further. Because, as I was saying, we need to move very quickly, and it is by moving quickly that we can catch off guard those who are trying to divide us those who are trying to keep us in a state of poverty. Burkina is not poor. I'm telling you, and I'll say it again, we are very rich. And that is our main problem. It is because of this wealth that they don't want us to first realize that we are rich and be able to exploit our resources. And beyond Burkina, the entire Sahel is rich, immensely rich. And I know that all of you are aware of this. The Sahel will not remain poor. We will continue on our path, continue building the AES, becoming strong, resilient, making the AES a space of complete security, being able to properly exploit our resources so that they benefit our popular masses. With that, I invite you to share this message with all your loved ones. We must make sacrifices here in the rear, in the offices, in order to support those who are on the front lines. So I wish you a very good week, a very good month of June, and a great end to the first semester. See you soon to face the second semester with more energy, more selflessness, and more courage. Homeland or death, we shall overcome.
Omar Sulanel, then this morning at the presidency of Faso, a moment marked by the performance of the national anthem and exclusively the anthem of the confederation, both performed by the music squadron of the Escort and Honor Group. Let's listen. The same ceremony took place this morning at the Presidential Palace in Niger, where the President of the Republic, members of the government, the diplomatic corps, and many other dignitaries gathered for the raising of the flag. There too, Sahel Benka was played for the first time. Highlights with Jira Abdul Aziz and Asku Jibrila.
The formal inaugural ceremony for the performance of the anthem of the area took place this Monday morning at the Presidential Palace in Niamey, presided over by the President of the Republic and Head of State, Army General Abdurrahman Shani. The event, whose significance is self-evident, was attended by Prime Minister Ali Mama Lamin Seng, the President of the Consultative Council for the Foundation, Dr. Mahmoud Haruna Gingre. Two key points marked the occasion. First, the performance of the national anthem in honor of the homeland. Then came the long-awaited moment, the playing of the anthem of the Confederation of Sahel States. anthem is indeed a new centerpiece in the symbolic arsenal of the young confederation.
After the logo, after the flag, by the grace of Allah, today it is the anthem of the AES. This is the fulfillment of the will of the heads of state of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Above all, it is the realization of the will of our peoples regarding the establishment of our confederation.
The result of an expedited effort carried out by 15 experts from the three countries from May 7th to 9th in Bamako, the anthem embodying unity and sovereignty gives voice to a resilient and united Africa. It is also a powerful expression of shared values, historical struggles, and common hopes for a dignified and self-reliant future.
Sahel Bank, beyond its melody, as I mentioned, conveys messages of courage, patriotism, and determination. It also resonated at the Kuluba Palace in Bamako. The moment is immortalized for us by Gary Bupo, Abaka Traore, and Sidiki Barou.
In the vibrant colors of unity, resistance, and hope, the AS flags are raised to the top of Kuluba. Next to the national flag, they wave in the sky as they resound for the first time. It is El Bankan, performed by the National Brass Band. This is a historic moment that will now be recorded in the annals of the Confederation of Sahel States. President Goita, President of the Confederation, presided over the ceremony symbolizing the establishment of an asserted sovereignty.
First of all, it is important to recall that the Confederation of the Alliance of Sahel States is a legal entity of a journal nature. And in this model within the Confederation, it is quite normal for it to establish its own symbols. You will remember that on March 3, 2025, we witnessed under the leadership of the heads of state of the AES, namely His Excellency General Assimi Goïta, President of the Transition, Head of State of Mali, and also President of the AES Confederation, together with his counterparts from Burkina Faso and Niger. We witnessed, under their leadership, the raising of the AES flag. It is also important to note that today the AES also has a motto. The motto is as follows: one space, one people, and one destiny. This morning, we have just witnessed the performance of the AES Anthem. I think that these three extremely important elements make it possible to establish, at least for a very long time, the AES as a legal entity, the AES as an organization, so a state-level confederation that needs to be recognized. This is not legal recognition, but a recognition that is based on symbols.
With distinguished guests gathered, the raising of the AES flag to the rhythm of the Sahel Bankan symbolizes the collective awareness that must in every respect be preserved.
There is a whole program following the directives of the heads of state to popularize this anthem both in schools, in academic circles, and in any case, everywhere the anthem should be seen, made widely known. But beyond popularization, as I said, we have the obligation to make it our own. We already know our national anthems well, which is a requirement. But I think that from this morning on, following the instructions of, the heads of state of the AES, we also have the obligation to make this one our own.
The Confederation of Sahel States has a logo, a flag, a motto, and an anthem. So many symbols that embody its unity and its vision, strengthened by its core principles.